Good evening, everybody. Today I'm going to share with you a very interesting story. And this story takes place in a very special place. I don't know if you've been there, but I certainly haven't been there. I've never been there before, and it would be very difficult for any one of us to travel there. And we'll find out where the place is. And first of all, let's look at the title of the book. And it's here. The Emperor's Egg. The Emperor's Egg. The Emperor's Egg. Okay, and so who is the Emperor? We'll find out more about it. The Emperor's Egg. Down at the very bottom of the world, there's a huge island that's almost completely covered in snow and ice. It's called Antarctica. Here, there's a little bit here. Antarctica. And it's the coldest, windiest place on the earth. The weather's bad enough there in summer, but in winter it's really horrible. It's hard to imagine anything actually living there. But wait, what's that shape over there? It can't be. Yes, it's a penguin. Look here, it's a penguin. This big penguin here. It's not just any old penguin either. It's a male emperor penguin, the biggest penguin in the world, and he's doing a very important job. He's looking after his egg. He's looking after his egg, and we'll find out how he does it. Now, what it says here, male emperor penguins are about 1.3 meters tall, and the females are a little smaller. Now, can you imagine, children, the penguin, the daddy penguins, can be as tall as 1.3 meters? Well, my goodness, well, I was shocked when I first read this story. I never knew that penguins can be as tall as that. And he didn't lay the egg himself, of course. He didn't lay it himself. His mate did that a few weeks ago. Now, his mate means his wife. I think the mummy penguin, okay, the mate here, mummy penguin. But very soon afterwards, she turned round and waddled off to the sea. That's where female penguin or female emperor penguin spend most of the winter, swimming about, getting as fat as they can, eating as much as they can, and generally having a very nice time. as far as you can tell. There we go. Which leaves the father penguin stuck on the ice with his egg. Now, the most important thing about exiting is stopping your egg from getting cold. Inside the egg, a penguin chick is starting to grow. If the egg gets cold, the chick will die. So everybody, can you see here? This is the egg right between daddy penguins, emperor penguins and feet and the belly. This is the belly, 肚子, 肚皮. And the feet, 脚. That means it has to be kept off the ice and out of the wind. And what a better way to do that than to rest it on your feet and tuck it right up under your tummy. Tummy is another word for belly. Okay, tummy. Tummy ache. 肚子疼 or English-speaking children when they want to say, well, 肚子疼, they say tummy ache. Ache is 疼, 痛. Which is just what the father penguin does. And that's how he'll stay for 2 whole months under his egg is ready until his egg is ready to hatch. Now, let me ask you the question. So how long does the daddy emperor penguin has to stay? Well remembered, it's 2 whole months. 2 whole months. And that's a long time, isn't it? Can you imagine it? Standing around in the freezing cold with an egg on your feet for 2 whole months. Female emperor penguins, I think mummy emperor penguins, lay 1 egg in May or June, which is the beginning of winter in Antarctica. What's more, there's nothing for the father penguin to eat on land. And because he's exiting, he can't go off to the sea to feed. Oh dear. So that means 2 whole months with an egg on your feet and no supper, no breakfast, no lunch, no tea. No supper, or breakfast, or lunch, or tea. Now, what does it mean, supper? Supper is 晚餐, but it's a little bit different from dinner. And a different type of people. People of a different social classes use different words. In the UK. Well, I think there is a less difference there, but still, there we go. And the breakfast is 早餐, lunch, 午餐, tea. Ah. Oh dear, it's a bit complicated. Well, tell you what, I'm going to continue with the story and I'll explain to you about the difference between tea, dinner, and a supper later on. It's a little bit complicated and we want to move on with the story first. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'd be very, very miserable. What do you think, children? It's a very hard job and really takes so much dedication, doesn't it? So much dedication, so much love, so much patience. Dedication 是奉献 and patience is 耐心 and so much of perseverance 毅力 perseverance. Luckily, the penguins don't seem to mind too much. They've got thick feathers and lots of fat under their skin to help keep them warm. And when it gets really cold and windy, they all snuggle up together and shuffle over the ice in a great big huddle. Huddle 是抱成团。Most of the time, the huddle trundles along very, very slowly. But sometimes, when the penguins get to a particularly slippery slope, what do? They slide down it on their tummies. The tummies slide on their tummies, pushing themselves along with their flippers, and always remembering to take care of their egg and trying hard not to bump into each other. Bump into, 就碰着，撞着，碰着。And that's how the father penguin spends the winter, until one day he hears a chip, chip, chip. Now, what it says here, even though the male keep the egg, as in the daddy penguins, keep the egg tucked right up under their tummies when they slide, it sometimes rolls out and breaks. Oh dear. Sometimes things like that happens. His egg is starting to hatch. Chip, chip, chip inside the egg, and there is a noise coming out of the egg. So it means that the egg is starting to hatch, and it takes it takes a day or so, but finally the egg cracks right open, and out pops a penguin chick. Look here, there's a little lovely penguin chick. A chick is the name for the baby penguin, is a chick. Or even for a chicken. If it's a baby chicken, then we call it a chick as well. Or baby bird, we call it chick. And now the father penguin has two jobs to do. He has to keep the chick warm. 要给它保暖 warm 暖和 and he has to feed it. Feed 喂食 he has to feed it. And the chick is only about 15 centimeters tall at first, and much too small to keep warm by itself. There we go. But on what? The chick is too small to be taken off to sea to catch food, and it can't be left behind on the ice. Well, deep down in the father penguin's throat, there's a pouch where he makes something rather like milk, and that's what he feeds to his hungry chick. There you can see the daddy penguin is feeding the baby penguin, the chick. The pouch like 是小囊的囊，就装东西的一个袋子和囊。There's a pouch. And the father penguin can only make enough milky stuff to feed his chick for a couple of weeks. But just as he's about to run out, a dot appears on the horizon. It gets closer and closer, and yes, what is it, everybody? The little dot here, the black dot here, in the distance. 在远处 in the distance 远处有个小黑点 Now what is it? The closer 越来越近了 Now obviously the word close, if we cover the R here, the close, it can mean 关门 close the door please, and 请关门 But here, this is another context that 这是另外一个上下文 and it means 近远近的近 gets closer and closer 更近越来越近 Aha, it's mum, it's mummy. She starts trumpeting hello, and the father penguin starts trumpeting hello, and the chick whistles chirp chirp chirp, and the racket goes on for hours, and it really does sound as if they are incredibly pleased to see each other. That's how they talk to one another. So every adult penguin has its own special call, what it says here. Like fingerprint, like the fingerprint, and we human beings, we have fingerprints, don't we? And every human being has different fingerprints. And so chicks have their own special whistle too. So that's how the chicks the baby penguins are able to recognize their mummy and daddy, and their mummy and daddy recognize their chicks, baby penguins. As soon as things have calmed down, the mother penguin is sick, right into her chick's mouth. Now, sick here, this word sick in different contexts means different things. Okay, in this context, 在这个上下文当中 it means 呕吐 for example, people would say 会晕车 in Chinese is 晕车 but in English people say I'm car sick, and and 6 is O. And in another context, we say, oh, you are sick, 就是说生病了。那 obviously there are other expressions for 病了。being sick, or she's or he's sick, or you can say ill, ill, or another word is very often used by people in England, which is poorly, or in the UK, perhaps in general, and poorly, P-O-O-R-L-Y, P-O-O-R-L-Y, poorly. Okay, now that's how the mummy penguin feeds the baby penguin, the chick. Now what it says is, yuck, you may think Yum thinks the chick, and it gobbles the lot down. And he's having a wonderful time, having a great meal. And it's the mother's turn to look after the chick now, while the father sets off to sea for a well-earned meal of his own. About time too. Now, speaking of the mummy penguin here, now I'm going to speak in Chinese. 那这个企鹅妈妈 I've got to think a little bit and to speak in Chinese 呢。企鹅妈妈干嘛呢？企鹅妈妈她不是从海边，不是在海里边休息了大概是2个月嘛，对不对？企鹅爸爸他是孵蛋孵了2个月，那么企鹅妈妈就去了海里边去觅食然后回来怎么样喂企鹅宝宝？企鹅妈妈是吃进去的东西然后把它吐出来喂企鹅宝宝。这个让我想到好像以前有的时候可能现在也会有这样的情形婴儿小的时候我记得好像家中的长辈，我见过家中的一些长辈一些亲戚在我的就是表兄弟姐妹那不是兄弟姐妹，我肯定看不到那个比我年长的一些这个兄弟哥哥呀，或者说是姐姐。那我观察到的是妹妹就是表妹呀，或者堂妹呀，表弟堂弟的，他们在很小的时候，我看到有的时候他们的妈妈会把这个饭咬碎一些，在嘴巴里面咬碎一点，然后再喂给这个我这些表妹表弟堂弟或者是表弟，所以这个有相似之处，对不对但是呢都是出于什么呀？出于伟大的母爱，对吧？父亲那父爱出于伟大的父爱和母爱。好，我们等一下再继续来讲。Right, let's go back to English. It's the mother's turn to look after the chick now. We've read that bit before, but We can still read it one more time. While the father sets off to sea for a well-earned meal of his own. About time too. Okay. 你看这个词，那 this well-earned. I'm not can't remember exactly how to translate it in Chinese. Basically, what it means is that because Daddy Penguin showed so much dedication and truly loved the egg and was incredibly patient and endured all the bad weather and the cold and wind to protect the egg, the chick, and for 2 whole months without eating anything. 你看这个企鹅爸爸2个月，整整2个月没吃没喝没吃的没喝的，就站在那儿要孵这个企鹅蛋。他这个毅力，他这个耐心，他这个爱心，对不对？所以这个叫 well earned， 他应得的这个叫回报。那回报也就是说现在轮到他去海里边觅食了，他终于轮到他了。The end. This is the end of it, everybody. Okay, now this is the index here. And I think it will be good for me to show you a little bit about index. You see, index. This is basically a piece of information about where you can find information about these words, information related to these words in the book. And these numbers are page numbers. So, for example, we look at Antarctica, the first word here, Antarctica, and it says 3, 6, 15. It means you will be able to find anything about Antarctica. Well, I wouldn't say anything about Antarctica. So where the story mentions Antarctica in page 3, page 6, and page 15. And also if you want to find anything about hatching in the story, you can turn to page 3 and page 22. There we go. And that's an important way, it's a very effective way of looking for information as well. Okay, I think it would be good to have a bit of a discussion about the greatness of the father penguin. Now let's turn to this little page here. 好，我们刚才读了这本书，这本书教了我们什么呀？教我们很多关于帝王企鹅的知识，对不对？但是里面有没有什么智慧呢？除了知识我们学习的，还有没有什么智慧？智慧和知识不一样，对吧？知识只是仅仅记在脑子里， 但是智慧呢，是我们可以学习应用在我们日常生活当中，让我们成为一个更好的人啊，让我们能够有一个很稳健的人格，能够站立在这社会当中，在世界当中。那就是这个父爱。父爱是很伟大的，对不对？你看我们人类当中父亲的奉献，有没有想过，我们之前在读这本书之前有没有想过，原来在动物世界当中也有很伟大的父爱。你看这个帝王企鹅，他就是父亲企鹅爸爸，他整整2个月不能够吃，不能够睡睡的话可能他会站着打一会盹儿吧，可能是我也不太清楚，我这猜测可能是这样子。但是呢，他不能够吃2个月呀，不能吃任何东西，又没办法。那大家想一想，我们2个月不说2个月吧，我们就2天不吃东西，会不会都觉得很难受，非常的这个难熬，对不对？不要说2天，就说1天吧。所以说这个企鹅爸爸的这个毅力，他这个耐心，他的爱心是不可思议的。所以呢，从这一点我们又学到，我们确实要非常尊敬动物，要爱护动物，对吧？怎么尊敬呢？就是爱护它们。这也是我为什么走素食的原因之一。为什么我只吃素食我吃 plant-based food，就是吃那个植物类的食物不吃肉，不吃鱼反正就是跟动物相关的都不吃蜂蜜有的时候会吃一点，但很少。因为动物它们都是有情感的也都会怕死就会惧怕死亡然后呢他们也热爱生命，对不对？他们也爱自己的孩子，就好像你看，就好像企鹅爸爸一样和企鹅妈妈，对不对？他们非常的小心翼翼的保护他们的这个蛋，也就是他们的小企鹅宝宝。那所以呢，如果说吃了这个小动物，那小动物他们也有爸爸妈妈呀，对不对？那小动物的这些爸爸妈妈们，他们会非常的着急，会很担心，会很痛苦那如果说一个小动物的宝宝看见他的爸爸妈妈被杀了，那小动物宝宝是不是也会很痛苦？就好像你有没有想过，如果你们的爸爸妈妈出了事儿有什么不好的事发生在他们身上，你们肯定也是非常的痛苦，痛哭流涕，是不是？因为你们非常爱爸爸妈妈。那同样的，我们要将心比心己所不欲，勿施于人虽然说是不施于人了， 但是其实孔老夫子的意思其实是会更广是爱护动物的。我们老祖宗几千年前都非常的，几千年前开始，3000、4、5000年开始就非常的爱护动物，他不会乱杀的。好的，我们今天就学到此，那我们下次再见。Well, thank you very much for listening, everybody, and this is it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.